Hey guys, so this is going to be a very interesting kind of video. I'm doing this so that way you guys know how I wear my Zentai suits and any kind of skin tight superhero suits. I'm going to preference this by saying this is by no means body shaming anyone. Everybody and anybody can cosplay. 100% support anybody cosplaying any character. This is more so for events that we're doing as far as in the community of making things look a little bit more professional and polished looking. Undergarments that you wear underneath these kind of suits can make 100% of the difference. The suit that I'm wearing today is one that I just got. It's cheap suit. It was from Amazon. I think it was like $50 something. It just has some minor modifications that need to be done. There's like these weird little pointy bits that are sticking off of the hips that I'm going to have to see about stitching those in. But I wanted to let you guys know what I wear under my suits to make them a little polished. We're going to get real personal, so be kind. It's not an easy video to make because obviously I am pointing out every single flaw and insecurity I have about my body. Right now, I am wearing the suit with just normal women's undergarments. Just a regular bra and underwear. To show you what a suit can look like with no other undergarments under it. Some of the things that you'll notice, we'll get the crazy wig out of the way, is I by no means have a flat tummy. And I have rolls. I am not a Spider-Man stick thin model. So I have different imperfections about me. When I am not wearing undergarments, and I also just ate macaroni and cheese, I have a definite protrusion on my belly. You can see where there's a couple of different roll lines specifically across the belly. It's a little bit harder to see in this light. But where I have some specific roll lines, you can see that definite transition underneath my tummy. And if we go to the sides here, you can see where this has a dip out before it goes to my bum, back with my love handles. Moving on to the back here, you can see where my bra lines are. Definitely easy to spot those dudes where my bra is cutting in and it's taking my bacon, as my hubby would call it, and pushing that out here. As far as my bum, it's just not as tight as it could be. Your girl's got some junk. And so you can see I have cellulite, and you can see where the skin ripples in the booty and in the thigh area. Because these suits are so thin, even though you're covered, you can see those kind of imperfections and stuff through the suit. This one isn't as bad as my Spider-Gwen, where it's the white chest, but you can also see the top of my bra showing through the top of this as well. And none of these things are a huge deal, but when it comes to being at my most comfortable and feeling the most secure, because these are going to show anything you are uncomfortable with your body, especially even like when I move, because this is not a personal fit or anything like that, everything is going to move, it's going to jiggle, and if you're bouncing around and playing with kids and stuff and being really active at an event, it can make you feel more self-conscious about it if you're like me, where I notice those things and I feel like everybody's zeroing in on it when realistically nobody notices or cares but you. It just makes me feel more comfortable. So this is what the suit looks like prior to undergarments. And luckily, I kind of like the webbing on this one because the webbing goes all the way down, so it does hide it a little bit more. You can see it when I'm closer up. Like, there's my belly button. So there's definitely like a defined line and a crease there. There's even a little bit of one right here. And you can definitely tell that there's a crease under here. Now, by doing all these things, I am not necessarily going to become any smaller around. It's more about dispersing everything to smooth it all out. And when it's smooth, your brain kind of gets tricked into assuming that it's smaller than it is because it's all flat. Also, how I adjust some of my proportions to make myself look and feel thinner. So there's going to be a couple different layers. Usually I start off with seamless undergarments as far as like underpants. The seamless ones that don't have the harsh edge. Oh, it's the other thing with these, with regular undies on. You can see my pinty line very, very clearly through these. And pinty lines are a no-go faux show. So I start off with seamless underwear that's not going to show those panty lines. Next thing is going to be the compression leotards. I get most of my stuff from either Meijer or Walmart. This is one of my go-tos for under my suits that have legs. So like my leotard style ones, obviously these are not going to work because they have legs. I like these because it goes around the side of the chest, slimming off that bottom bra line, and it's high enough in the back where it covers my bacon and the bottom of that bra strap. It also smooths out to a pretty seamless line, and nobody is generally looking for a crease around your knee if you're going to end up with a slight crease. So it's better for that crease to be down here than it is to be up in the midsection at the torso where the eye is drawn to. So I'll put on this guy. I'm going to put on dance tights. Oh, here's the, for like my leotard style suits, Gwenpool, She-Hulk, that kind of stuff without legs. I have another one that looks like this. So she doesn't have legs. I don't care for this one as much because it has a hook and eye, like a bra strap style crotch to it. So theoretically, it's easier to go to the bathroom in, but I find that the width of this strap, if I don't have like tights on under it, tends to rub on the inside of my thighs. So not as comfy, but it does do essentially the same job. And again, looking for something that has the higher back to it. I prefer ones that don't go across my chest. I'll show you why and explain in a second. But I don't want to compress my chest anymore. At least for what I'm doing. If I was doing crossplay, 100%. And I have a binder that you can wear for underneath that to compress the chest more. But being in a female character, I don't want to compress it. I'll then put on my waist trainer. Actually, generally, I'll put these on under the shapewear to help hide seam lines. So there's a couple different styles depending on how visible stuff is through the suit and how much more structured I need to make it. A couple different kinds. This one is a fabric style one. These are waist cinchers, so these just go around the middle. So this is going to hit this section all the way up to lower rib cage. I'll put this on under the shapewear, so that way the shapewear helps cover up this seam line. The more layers you add and the more pieces you have to think about how they are going to be squishing things into other spots, so you can potentially add more and more seam lines to things. This is another style. This came from Amazon. I actually bought it for my wedding to wear into my wedding dress, so I didn't have to wear a regular bra because my dress was strapless. One of these days I need to upgrade. This girl is real tired. So this is a corset. It does have the metal fastener front. This is over the chest. Like I said, not ideal for what I want to do, but if I really want to be cinched in, this is the guy I wear. I wear this under Gwenpool a lot. So that way I can really, because it's white, so that way it really sucks everything in. Just be careful when wearing corsets for long periods of time. Obviously you're kind of squishing your guts, and if you're not used to it, it can make you feel lightheaded, stuff like that. You're not going to be able to breathe regularly if you're not used to it and you're tightening it too much. So there's a couple different waist trainery things. And again, I wear these in addition to the shapewear leotards. Over top of those, to help smooth out the last of the lines from the shapewear, I will wear dance tights. Even under something like this, where you can't see my legs, I wear dance tights. It helps compress everything a little bit more. It ends up making everything look a little bit smoother. And it'll help smooth out some of the lines from the shapewear and stuff that you may have created. And if it's cold, it makes it nice because it's an extra warm layer under these. So these are dance tights. You can find them on Amazon, super cheap. I don't think I've ever spent more than $10 on a pair ever. They're going to be thicker. I brought some pantyhose so you can see the difference between what a pantyhose looks like. These are the kind of things you wear for dressy events when you are showing your legs. So these are pantyhose. They're very sheer. They're very thin and flimsy. Generally, they have either like a control top, so it'll be a different color. These ones do not have a control top, but they do have kind of like a, it's hard to pick up on camera, like a gussety, different colored section in the front that goes around the outside of the crotch. So obviously these wouldn't work with a leotard where you're going to see some of this poking out. These do add a little bit of control, but not a lot of sucking in. They're not going to be as sturdy. If you see these next to a pair of dance tights, they are definitely very different materials. These are going to snag a lot easier too. So your wear time is not, you're not going to get as much of value. You can get these for like $5 or so. Pick any store ever that carries women's undergarments at all, and they're there. But these guys will last you a lot longer. They're thicker. They do not have any of the upper seams. So if you're wearing a leotard, you're not going to get any of those lines as far as leg lines or anything like that showing. They tend to look a little bit more skin-like, not have as much of a sheen, and they're going to be a little bit more controlling. So I'll put these guys on over top of that. Give or take the day, I have a super tight compression tank top that I may also wear if I'm wanting just a little bit more coverage, feeling a little bit more uncomfortable with this area, or I feel like my back in the upper back isn't quite as controlled as I want it to be. It's going to fluctuate on the day. So the last thing I add is, in order to make my waist look smaller, I tend to pad out my chest a little bit. I'm not the bustiest girl. I mean, I have a chest, but I'm not super busty. So if I find that if I make my chest look a little bit bigger, it tends to make this part of me look smaller, and it kind of proportions me out to my hips. So it makes this a little bit out and then go in and like this. So visually it makes more sense. It's not necessarily about me trying to make the character look sexier. It's more about me fixing in my brain what I would like my proportions more to look like from a glance. To pad mine out, I usually use cutlets. I got these at Joann's. I use a coupon. I think when I used a coupon, they were like $10. They come in a ton of different sizes, different shapes. They're like a silicone. They're super squishy. And then these just slide into your bra. There are ones that will push up and stuff like that too. I try not to do those so much anymore because I'm not trying to create cleavage. I'm trying to create girth. So if you have the ones that are push-ups, sometimes it can then cause a like bubble that forms on the top of the chest from it pushing your actual fat up over the top of your bra essentially. And in this kind of condition, we want it to just make everything look larger. So I am going to go ahead and jump into my shapewear and then show you what everything looks like with the shapewear on. Here, out of the way. So, yeah, especially in the back, you can really see it, how the back rolls and whatnot are kind of just hanging out. All right, we'll be back in just a second. And we're back. All right, got all the compression stuff on. I have my corset, the white corset actually on under this guy right now, and then I have the legged leotard, and then I have my dance tights and my chest padding. And you can kind of see now how much of a difference that makes. See how much smoother that is? I no longer have, you can kind of see my buttons, but the difference between a giant belly button poking in and some little tiny buttons that honestly, unless you're looking for them, you will never see them. Not that big of a deal. When I wear my other one, you don't see it. And then it helps kind of hide everything in, and because I layered everything underneath, you can't really see the line from the bottom of the corset. Even though it is an over bust one, I pulled it down so it's actually technically under the bust, so it's hitting a little bit lower on my hips. As far as the back goes, see how much better that looks? Still have a little bit of a divot right here. That's where my corset ends. But a million times better than it was before. Same thing with, again, I need to edit this suit and fit it. Why did they not taper this out more? Makes no sense. This weird little dimples. So that smoothed everything out quite a bit. My rear end is a lot more taut and compressed, so it's not quite as dimply. You can't see my cellulite through it anymore. Same thing with my legs. If I move my legs, there's no jiggling. Everything's like stuffed in there. So everything's not going to move without everything else. And you can kind of see how by adding in the chest padding, the suit does a great job anyways because of all the highlighting and airbrushing on it, but it makes my chest look a little bit bigger, therefore it makes my gut a little bit smaller. So there's the difference between with and without. Again, this is not the only way to do it. This is not necessarily the best way to do it. This is just how I do mine, and talking to a lot of other female members who do a lot of the different bodysuits, different sizes and everything. A lot of the consensus has been kind of similar, of different things. Like I said, all of my shapewear I've either gotten randomly at Meijer or Walmart. The only thing I don't get there are my dance tights. I get on Amazon. I'm tall, so it's easier for me to find them on Amazon anyways, because it's hard to find pantyhose that are tall enough where the crotch doesn't hit my knees. And same thing with the white corset. Again, it was like super duper cheap, maybe $10 on Amazon. So none of it's super expensive. You can add or take away as many layers as you want. I know even what I tend to wear fluctuates per day by day, as far as if I feel extra bloated, if I know that I'm going to be running around a little bit more, I'll probably swap out my my corset for like this the fabric waist cincher. I seen a couple other ones I want to try out as far as like the more fabric-y style waist cinchers, or I'll wear that like super tight compression tank top instead. Like I said, that one also covers up this a little bit better than the corset does, because since it's squishing my back fat up, it's squishing it because it has to go somewhere. it's squishing it out a little bit more and causing a little bit more of that dimple across where the bra line is. But it's definitely significantly better than it was with just the regular bra on. If you guys have any questions, let me know. 10 out of 10 though, recommend this suit for as much as I paid for it. I really like the design on it, the airbrushing on it, and I like how cartoon and all the highlights and everything. Like I said, it is doing my chest all the favors with all of the shading that's on it. I like the way that it fits. This is a large. I'm about 5'9" and 170 pounds. And this fits me great. I don't know if I would have gone much smaller. I can still pull it out, and so it's not stretched skin tight. I have plenty of room in it. The gloves actually are not too bad. I saw reviews about it, the gloves being too long. Maybe I just have big hands, but they fit me okay. I may end up detaching a little bit on the wrist so I can slip my hands out. The only thing that's funny about this one is the collar is like crazy long. I don't know if it was intended to be able to be pulled up over your face, but it's like crazy long. When it's pulled up on me, it's like way the heck up there. Yeah, overall, not a bad shoot. Does the booty much favors. I don't like the Spidey symbols as much on these, but I mean, that's a character thing, not necessarily this suit thing per se. Wig too. I have done literally nothing to it. Pulled it out of the bag, gave it a quick brush, and trimmed the lace. This was Amazon. I'll look it up for you guys. It's the same stinking wig that I have in literally every color at this point. It is a lace front. Like I said, I've done nothing to it. I do not have it glued down, as you can tell by it pulling up at my edges. But it's a really nice wig. It's got clips here and here to be able to hold it on. It's a nice length. I might have to trim it a smidge because this is a little excessive here. But for an MJ costume, for overall, I think it was suit, call it $55, wig was a $40 wig. And then I also got, to be able to wear it at events, a pair of red high tops. These have no bottoms to the feet. I could add the rubber insoles to the bottom, but honestly, I really like the look of the MJ in the blue and red suits with the red sneakers. I think it looks really cute. And so if I don't have to worry about the bottoms on the suit, having the sneakers I think looks pretty cute and pretty canon. So if you guys have any questions, let me know. As far as guy stuff, I know that there's going to be another member doing a kind of guy update as far as wearing different undergarments and stuff like that. So look forward to that coming along too. Bye guys.